Hi, this is Mary Kay. Today I'm going to show you how I'm painting snowy plovers. So this is a picture I took on the beach. I wanted them about the same size as the plovers really are. I'm going to leave out this kelp. Notice how they sit in the little footprints in the sand and kind of tuck in. Like this one's down a little farther, this one's little legs are showing. Generally, you don't have two things in a picture, just one or three, but I think it's time to break the rules. Here is a painting, it's a drawing really, it's an ink drawing, and then I just painted it in. So this is what we're kind of going for. And I'm going to start with the background. The sand in Half Moon Bay is this kind of golden sand. So I like to use a raw sienna first and put a little bit of burnt sienna into it. That usually gets very close to the color of the sand with a lot of water. I'm going to use a little bit of neutral tint. I like it a little more yellow. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is wet my background. I'm going to go around my plovers. The Birdman of Half Moon Bay calls these plovers. I've always heard plovers, but oh look, there's so much, I might not even have to paint the background. They have these cute little tails. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. This is actually just kind of nice to just put this background on with the lightest wash. Maybe that's the way to do it. I'm going to go right over these legs here because they'll be darker and they'll cover the little sand. There's a few speckles on this page because it was sitting, this piece of paper was sitting next to some other painting I was doing where I was splattering. So I'm just, so cute. They're so cute. Just and now's a good time to put in a little bit of shadow. I'm using burnt sienna and neutral tint now for the shadow right in here because they're in this little they're in these actually they were little footprints. So the plovers have a fence around them. I'm going to dip my water in the brush and dry it and sort of soften this edge here. Well, I don't like how that worked because my paper was damp. I won't be adding the shadow in class today because I want that to be light right here is very light part of the painting below the bird. So we'll add the shadow in later on this bottom one. I think I'm going to just take some of this and just splat into my wet paint and let this speckles happen, especially down here in the bottom. We'll be adding more of these. Those need to be blurry up there. Okay, now I'm going to put that brush aside and get my pencil brush. This is a number 10 round. I'm going to just start, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to a smaller brush even and go start at the eyes. And I'm just using, I'm going to move that so you can see this color here better. This is neutral tint. I'm just going to go neutral tint. So the eyes are in, right in here is her eyes. And this bottom one, I'm actually going to leave a little glint. It's a little speck of white in the eye. And I'm going to add a little water and burnt sienna and come around the eye on their soft feathers right here. Above the eye is a white area. And then the beak. Have to be careful. This is, yeah, that's wet, so I don't want my beak to blur. Now I'm going to go into add more burnt sienna to my neutral tint to get this sort of brown color in here. A little bit more brown by adding the burnt sienna. They have these little white collars. They're so cute. They're pretty. This is the size they are. And they're very flitty. You know, they run away quickly. And on the beaches in Half Moon Bay, they have fences around their nesting areas. So you're not supposed to let your dog in there because the dogs will mess up the nests. Although I do see lots of dogs that go in there. So I'm just painting these brown feathers here. I'm using my small brush. I probably should be just using my number 10. And the head. The head is brown. They're so cute. Hopefully my background's dry now. I think when I paint this in class, I am going to paint the birds first, put the background in after. Make this collar. It's a little collar, a little smaller. Oh, you're so cute. Well, that's pretty close for the brown one, brown part of that one. I am going to take my bigger brush now and paint the white feathers down here. It's not just pure white. There's really, it's got a lot of reflected light into it. So it's the shadow and the reflected light. You can see that's the color of the sand and the browns and the grays. It's very pale though, so it's going to be a lot of water. And this is the shadow on the beautiful belly of this bird. So there's going to be very little pure white paper left. Blot some of that up. I think I got a little too much. Okay. This part right here is a little bit colored in. I need to get the beak all the way out. They have short little short little beaks. It kind of points at the end actually. That's good. I can go in and I'm going to darken around the eye a little bit. They're so cute. Okay, I'm going to leave this guy alone. Actually, I think I'm going to add a little more shadow down here at the bottom. If you want to add a little bit of blue into this shadow, you can. I'm going to add a little bit of cerulean into it. See, and it's fluffy though, so you have to really get in there with some water and little circular brush strokes to make it look fluffy. And there's a little darkness in here. And here's a little extra darks. Their tail's pretty dark. There, we're getting more variety into it. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to go to the top one now and do the same thing, but I'm going to use my pencil. I call this a pencil brush. Okay, so burnt sienna and neutral tint. I'll go into the beak here. This one is a little blurrier because I think just the way my phone took the picture. The shape of the beak right here is like a little, comes down just a little. Yeah, like that. Okay, and then the eye. Now this one, I don't know, should we leave a glint in it? It's maybe not a glint, just like a lightning, because this one's farther back and we don't, this is going to be the focal point, is this eye. This bird is in the center, it's in the top, and so I don't want this eye to have a glint. It can have like a little lightning in it so that you know it's a round, glassy thing. But we don't want it to have a glint. We don't want it to be as good as this one. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with this dark brown gray. Their heads are kind of flat. They have that little light area right above their eye. And a little collar. Okay, so around the eye it goes clear to the beak. And we have to leave the little white eyebrows. very small. I just think they're so cute. They make me so happy just to see them out. Okay, now I'm gonna, this is just a damp brush. I'm sort of just softening this area here, right above the eye. Okay, now I'm gonna go into the other feathers. Again, it's burnt sienna and neutral tint. That's about right. Have to leave the little collar. If I have that color on that side of the band, I need it to be on this side of the band. Birds are so fun to paint. In the 50/50 show in Pacifica, every year there's at least one artist that does birds. And there's a couple that get in year to year because their birds are so good and they have little themes with their birds. So I've thought about maybe doing birds, but it's not, I'm more of a landscape painter, but I do love to paint them sometimes. Like I love herons and okay, the herons and these plovers. Do I have that shape right? This goes a little farther maybe. That's good. Here, a little bit down here. Okay, now I'm going to put in the shadowing at the belly. So on this shadowing then, I'm going to add a little bit of cerulean into that. Here is where the shadow starts up. So I just put a little pale color down, and now I'm dipping my brush into the water and drying my brush, and then I'm just painting with a thirsty brush with little round strokes to sort of make this look fluffy, like little fluffy feathers. And I want it darker at the bottom and then lighter as it comes up, so that makes it look like it's a round belly. And if I put too much down, I just lift it up with a clean paper towel. I'm just putting a little shadow in those whites, because nothing's really pure white. I'm gonna add this now. This is kind of weird here. That's what I did when I put that background in, so we're gonna fix that. Okay, now that my birds are painted, I can go in now and put the shadow of the hole in better. Okay, so I'm gonna go just over that first color with, I'm gonna keep it, it's a little more brown in there actually. So I'm gonna go, so I'm going down to where it touches here, because this right here is the sand that has the most light, and it's in a little indentation that has shadow. So I'm painting the shadow that the bird is sitting in. And it kind of softens out here. That's better. That's better. Okay, now I'm going to go over here and try to fix this one. So this has like a little dent. You can make it smooth if you want. And now I'm going to fix this area right here. It's kind of got some feathers that goes to the tail. Okay, so I put in that first shadow, and then I get my brush wet and I dry it on my paper towel, and now I'm going to just use this is really a kind of a sharp line here, isn't it? Let's put a little more in there and make this a little sharper back here. I guess because the sun is shining from the right, so the actual shadow, the occlusion shadow and the cast shadow are right here. Although this one doesn't have it because it's sitting up a little bit. Okay, then now, so that's the shadow behind the bird, and now I'm going to put the shadow here. Same colors. I'm going to paint the legs over this shadow. So I'm putting that first shadow down with it's pale paint. There's a lot of water in this paint. Shadow goes right up to the shadow, and the sand goes right up to the shadow on the bird. And now I'm going to get my brush thirsty, wet it, and then dry it. And I'm making little circles. Oh, hello. You have I need to make your belly smooth. Hello, little friend. So the only thing I really need to do is put these feet in, except it's wet right now, so I have to let it dry. And then I also want to make this look more like sand. So it's a bunch of speckles, and if we can take a paper towel and put it over the birds and speckle. We can just wipe them up if we hit the speckles. So some of the speckles in the sand are dark. Just speckling. And so this is just my diluted neutral tint. I'm hitting my bird, so I gotta wipe those up. I think that's the easiest way to do it, is just wipe them up if you get your bird. And I'm gonna put some more of these in the background. All over, I'm just trying to make it look like sand. So I'm just tapping my brush on my finger where I want this to go. Wipe up the speckles. You can smudge it with your fingers. Oh, this is good. I like that. I like that smudging with your fingers idea. That looks more like sand for sure. There are also little brown speckles in the sand. I'm gonna make some brown, which is just burnt sienna and the neutral tint. And I'm going to speckle here. All of these birds, there was a long piece of kelp, like the whole kelp, and there were, I don't know, 20 birds in this area. And the kelp, I don't know. I think if we just put that kelp in, that becomes more of the, I just don't want my eye to go to the kelp. I'm just really care about the birds. And I just want this to look like sand. So we know they're just in the middle of a huge sand. And distinguish this out farther, I think. And maybe a little more like flicks. Yeah, I can just dot those in there. And then this one, I'm going to put a little bit more shadow down here. Oh, I wish I hadn't done that because now it's going to be wet when I try to paint it. I'm just fussing. This painting is done. One thing I'm going to do though is I am just going to darken these corners. Some light paint. I don't want my eye to go out the corners of my painting. And I want to sign it. I want to sign this painting. So now my eye hopefully is really drawn to the birds. And you just know what. Yeah, okay. And I think I'll sign it over here because if I put it here, I think I need to get my, I'm going to sign it on this side. So it's damp. I have my bamboo signer. I go up about an inch. I sign my name using cursive. You can sign your name any way you want to, and you don't even have to sign your paintings. I put a little C with a circle around it. I'm gonna sneeze, sorry. Three's the charm. And then as soon as this is dry, I'm gonna put the little legs in. Use my little brush, and again, it's just the neutral tint and the brown, the burnt sienna. What do you think's gonna happen? They're gonna get blurry, huh? I'm gonna try it. They're starting, this one starts behind the bird. It comes down to the, and this one starts here. Goes down to the sandbank. There, it's all done. That's it. That's all you have to do. And they're so cute. Thanks for watching.